Well, hello, welcome back to AldermanFarms. I'm making my sweet potato casserole. I have all my ingredients right here. It's a pretty quick casserole to make. And so I thought we'd go live where you could see how to make sweet potato casserole. One thing I want to show you is that these are sweet potatoes that I had cooked and have had them in the freezer. I have them individually wrapped and put them inside a Ziploc bag. I've already peeled quite a few. But anyway, these have been in the freezer for about a year now. And so they've really stayed really good. And so I have kind of like fresh sweet potatoes for a sweet potato casserole, and I don't have to go through cooking them right before I make it. So I'm going to go ahead. I need 3 cups of sweet potatoes. It's real easy to do this once they've been baked and in the freezer. The skins just come off so easy, which I guess they come off pretty easy once they've just been baked, but it's real easy to do this. You can use canned sweet potatoes. I don't know how many cans you would need, but you know, for this we need 3 cups. So let me see. My hands are yucky. That's just about right. It might be a tad more than 3 cups, but that's enough. So I have that, and I'm going to put that in my bowl here. And they're pretty mushy, but you want to make sure that they are, you know, mushed up good. This is a family favorite, and I actually am combining 2 recipes. I made a mistake one year, and I was looking at my sister's cookbook from her church, and I actually followed the wrong recipe, and it wasn't until I got to the topping and I realized it was the wrong recipe. And so I actually like, don't tell my sister, but I really like the filling for the other person's sweet potatoes better, and I like her topping the best. So anyway, so you get that mixed up, and then you're going to add in a 1/2 cup of sugar. Oh, by the way, this is not diet food. Not diet food at all. 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/2 cup of butter melted, one teaspoon of cinnamon. We always have sweet potato casserole at Thanksgiving and Christmas, always. And I'm just mixing after each ingredient that I put in. Really probably would have been best had I mixed my cinnamon with my sugar. It might would have mixed a little easier. But it's not too bad. And then you want to add in 2 beaten eggs, which I've beat them up a little bit. And I really guess you could do this in a mixer if you wanted to. It's so quick and so easy. I just do it by hand. And y'all, I'm not able to see the comments, so I will look at the comments when I get through mixing up. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to go ahead and add the 1/3 cup of milk in too. Spilled it a little bit. And that's it. It is mixed up and ready to go in the 9 by 13 pan. Let's see. going to go ahead and spray my pan with cooking spray just to help that a little bit from not sticking too bad. I'm going to spread this out to where it's even along in the pan. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this and refrigerate. This will go in the refrigerator. And I won't put my topping on it until tomorrow before I bake it. And what I'll do is I'll take this out of the refrigerator in the morning where it can kind of come to room temperature, and then I will put the topping on it and bake it. I tried putting the topping on it right after I mean overnight, and it tends to let me get a rag. It tends to not cook the same because you want it to kind of brown. I think it's because there's so much moisture in the sweet potatoes and everything. So that's why I'm going to make my topping in this bowl, and that calls for another ½ cup of sugar. Need to get some more sugar. And ½ cup of flour. Okay, you're going to mix this together. Get that mixed in. The sugar and the flour mixed together good. And then you're going to cut in 1 stick of butter. Softened, of course, at room temperature. It's been out all day. So, and I'll usually just cut that in with a fork. And you know, you're looking for it to be, you know, all mixed in good and kind of resemble coarse cornmeal. I will refrigerate this too overnight, but just in a separate container. And I'm so funny, I don't like to eat sweet stuff with my food, so I save this. I eat this as a dessert. I guess it's looking, it's not looking like coarse cornmeal, is it? So, but it'll become more crumbly, and my butter was awfully soft too. So, you may have to let this get a little room temperature too before you're able to sprinkle it over the sweet potatoes. So, and then next you're going to chop ½ cup of pecans. It calls for ½ cup of chopped pecans, and so this is, let's see, it's not going to be quite a, I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. Do it like this. I think. We'll see. I think it's supposed to be ½ cup once it's chopped, so. And I'm not going to bang, I'm trying not to bang it because of, it will be so loud on the video, so. Which this seems to be working pretty good. I see a few big chunks in there. Let's see if that's a ½ cup. It is. There's a big one. Need to eat that one. So there we go. Here's my ½ cup of chopped pecans. I'm just going to mix that in good. Yeah, it's really not supposed to be like the mashed potato consistency that it is. It's supposed to be more crumbly. Oh, let me look at the regular recipe. Maybe I did something wrong. Let's see. I have been known to do things wrong before. Let's see. Oh, this is the wrong cookbook. Where is it? Oh, there it is. There it is. Let's see. Half a cup of sugar, half a cup of half a stick of margarine. So scratch that whole stick. It's supposed to be a half a stick. I wonder what I should do. I think I'm going to leave it like this. Half a stick. So if I add an extra of everything, I would have to add more pecans too, huh? I guess I'm going to go ahead and double that, because this isn't going to cook up right. Alright, so that's what I'm going to do. Let me get a bigger bowl. So, let's see. Yeah, half a stick of margarine. Half a stick. So, this should have been 1/4 of a cup, and I put a cup. Wow. Oh well, nothing like really messing up on live video, huh? But you know our motto, where life on the farm just got real. Well, it's real. And it's not going to be the easiest thing getting all this flour and sugar mixed in. I think what I'll do, get more sugar. I think what I'll do is I'll mix my flour and sugar in here and then add it to that. And then I'll have to add more pecans. So, that means I'm going to have double topping for my sweet potatoes, but that's okay. I won't do it extra thick. What I'll do is I'll freeze this, and for Christmas, when I make the sweet potatoes for Christmas, I'll already have my topping made. So, not necessarily a bad plan. That's the kind of sugar I use. I really like it. Alright, here we go. Now, I'm going to put 1/2 cup of sugar in. And put 1/2 cup of flour in. Y'all don't let me forget my other pecans, though. I got to put more pecans in, too, now. Okay, let me mix this up. And you know too, my sister's recipe calls to put it in a 2-quart dish, and this other recipe calls for a 9 by 13. So it wouldn't hurt to have extra topping, because I may actually need a little bit more since it's on it's spread out thinner, and the topping really is really good too. So I might just use all the topping on one. We'll see. Okay. Now it's getting crumbly like it's supposed to be. Alright, there we go. Now, more pecans. And look at this. This is pecans. Wonderful pecans from my great neighbors from 2011. They've been in this bag, and I've been using out of it, but I've kept it sealed up, and they taste wonderful. So that's, what, 7 years old? They're still so good. I really like pecans. So, okay, here we go. I'm not going to measure this again, because I know a heaping cup equals about 1/2 cup in here. So, now, this is looking more like it's supposed to. And I'm not going to freeze half of it right now. I'm going to wait and see how much of it I use, because I may use a little bit. But although half of this looks like it would be plenty to go on there, because you don't, it's not a thick layer, it's a light layer on there. So, but I still would rather have it out of the freezer in case I want to use more. But I better correct my recipe. I rewrote the recipe in my little recipe book, because it's a, you know, it's a frequent wet recipe for the holidays. And so I gotta make the correction, because I put a half a stick of butter on the recipe, and that's what I put in it. So okay, there we go. I've got my sweet potatoes done and my topping done. So it's all ready for the oven, and I wish I had timed myself, because that probably only took about 10 minutes, if it took that, to mix up. So I'm going to come around over here and look at the comments. I got my hands rinsed off. Oh, and I forgot how to do that. Tommy, how do you make these comments come up here?
Swipe up.
That's what I did.
Alright.
Where is it? Oh.
Sorry, swipe down.
Well, I'll listen to you. See?
Alright.
Alright.
Come back over here. I'm going to turn it around for you. Hello.
Okay.
Because I want you to stand in front of the microphone.
Oh, okay. Sorry, y'all. It freaked me out. I was like, oh, I made everybody go away. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Jen. I'm so glad you did make it live. Hey, Valerie. Hey, Sherry. Oh, Roxanne, you said you make yours very similar. Neat. Thank you, Heaven's Gates. Oh, Suburban said leave it. I couldn't see any of the comments, but it's the reason I didn't want to leave it, because it actually kind of makes it crunchy on top, and I didn't know if it had the extra butter, if it would still be crunchy like that. So, oh, Suburban, I hate that. I'm sorry, I had to throw your pie crust away. Yesterday when I was baking for the market, I had 5 balls of dough on the scale, and one was on the edge, and when I turned around, it was on one ball, a whole pound of dough was on the floor, and I was like, oh no. So I cut off the part that was on the floor and put it aside, and so I made me a pizza loaf later with it. So, but I wouldn't sell it like that. So we can use butter or ghee instead of margarine. Yes, it changes. I think I missed something. About that. I think that was y'all answering each other, so. Yeah, Miss Country, I mess up. So I did a video on dressing, and that all went good, but then it's just because I wrote the wrong thing down. So okay, let's see. White Picket Fence said made the first sweet potato casserole last year. Before that, we did them different. Hooked. Oh, well, good. Yeah, I'm not one. I will eat a sweet potato, baked sweet potato now, but before I used to not eat sweet potatoes at all. But I always ate sweet potato casserole, and like I said, to me it's dessert. I never put it on my plate with my other food. It's when I come back and get dessert, I get sweet potato casserole, because you saw it's obviously very sweet, but it's very good too. And hey, we're eating sweet potatoes, so I mean, it can't be all bad for us, right? So anyway, yeah, your taste buds do change, Becca. I eat a lot of things that I used to not eat, but I still don't prefer to have sweet with my salty, so that's why I eat my sweet potato casserole last. Anyway, I've got to cut up potatoes now. I'm going to make potato salad tomorrow morning. I've already boiled my eggs in my Instant Pot, and I will boil the potatoes in the Instant Pot in the morning. I really don't like cold potato salad. I'll eat it, but I prefer it, you know, room temperature. So I like to make my potato salad the day of. So anyway, I'm going to get that done, and then I'm calling it a day as far as cooking. I don't know what we're having for supper, but it's going to be some kind of leftovers or a sandwich because I'm not cooking anything else. So anyway, and I have to remember how to cut this off. Yes, thank you, Valerie. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. And guys, if y'all haven't heard, we are going to be having our live show tomorrow, 7 o'clock Central. And we announced last week, hey City Girl, we announced last week that we wanted, if any of y'all or if you know anybody makes any homemade things, handcrafted items, and they want to sell them, we've got a page on our website dedicated to it's called Friends, Stuff Made by Our Friends, and so that's on our webpage. And also we're going to be talking about them on our live show, and we've gotten so many that Tommy said earlier that I don't know if we're going to be able to get to all of them. I'm like, oh, we have to mention everybody, and hopefully if we don't get to go into great detail this week, next week we'll be able to, you know, the ones that we didn't get to, that we will get to talk more about each one, and give them some airtime, and to let different ones see the different stuff that's out there. I know Tommy bought me a lot of stuff that our friends made last year for Christmas, and it's very unique, it's very personal. I really like doing things that way instead of going to the big box store and just buying something. So anyway, so if you make something, or if you know someone that does, please tell them. They just have to send us an email at Christmas@AldermanFarms with pictures and how to get in contact with them and a brief description. So anyway, there's some very unique things, and I can't wait to show it to y'all Thursday night, so tomorrow night. So anyway, I'm gonna try and hang up on here. No, I'm not hanging up, and I'm not on the phone. I'm gonna try and sign off, and hopefully we'll see y'all tomorrow night. Happy Thanksgiving.